Greetings, greetings, greetings. Yes, Grande Queen Mother. Yes, Nana Ama and Nancy. Yes, this May 5th, welcome you to Cinco de Mayo, the Ethiopia-Mexico connection with His Imperial Majesty. And of course, we know that this Cinco de Mayo is our Liberation Victory Day that I and I celebrate. And it is for this reason that our Holy Mother gave up her crown, okay, to ensure Ethiopia remained free. And she never wore a full crown after that wonderful victory. So, let's go into it. Cinco de Mayo, what is it? Cinco de Mayo commemorates the Mexican Army's victory over Napoleon III's French forces at the Battle of Puebla on May 5, 1862, during the Franco-Mexican War. Although it was a relatively minor battle, the French reclaimed Puebla a year later. The victory was a symbolic one because a small Mexican army defeated a larger occupying force in the triumph over yes, Ras Pablo, oh, what a blessing. Yes, Africa in the house. Yes. So, although on May 9, 1862, President Juarez declared that the anniversary of the Battle of Pueblo would be a national holiday, regarded as the Battle of Puebla Day or Battle of Cinco de Mayo. Today, the commemoration of the battle is not observed as a national holiday in Mexico, although all over the world they are celebrating it. And the biggest celebration actually happens in California. Now, in 1862, during the Battle of Pueblo in Mexico, the United States was engaged in its own civil war. Cinco de Mayo was first celebrated in the United States in the Southern California in 1863, and California continues to have the biggest celebration in a show of solidarity with Mexico. Of course, we know California, part of it is on the border. Now, Victory Day, May 5th, what is that for us? 1941, Emperor Haile Selassie victoriously returned triumphantly to his beloved capital city of Addis Ababa, the new flower, Jerusalem, exactly 5 years to the date. Yeah. Thank you for tuning in for all who is here, because this is very, very important. Why is this second Ethiopian war so important? That victory secured Ethiopia's sovereignty. Yeah, the Ethiopian emperor was accompanied by battle-tested companies of patriot guerrilla fighters, the Arbanyak. The aim of Mussolini invading Ethiopia was to boost Italian national prestige and ego, which was wounded by Ethiopia's defeat of Italian forces at the Battle of Adwa, March 1st, 1896. Now, that first defeat saved Ethiopia from Italian colonization. Under Menelik II and his wife, Empress Taitu, the Ethiopian Patriotic Army, and a large regiment of women who were mobilized as nurses by Empress Taitu, the campaign of Italy to expand its colonial empire in the Horn of Africa was thwarted. That did not happen. Instead, let's look now at some additional things so that you can know. Cinco de Mayo, our Majesty, create a relationship with Mexico. We'll talk more about that. In Ethiopia, Mexico gave us a copy of the original Olmec head. You know, the name Olmec is an Aztec word meaning the rubber people, because the Olmec made and traded rubber throughout Mesoamerica. Some people would be wondering, what is Mesoamerica? Mesoamerica is the historic region of Ah. Oh, I see my husband. Ghana is in the house. Thank you. Blessed love. Mesoamerica contains northern Costa Rica, Nicaragua, Honduras, and I just had to have the Ras separate from the Hondu because I saw that Ras. Yeah, El Salvador is part of that. Guatemala, Belize, and central to southern Mexico. And for thousands of years, this area was populated by groups such as the Olmec, the Zapotec, the Maya, Toltec, Aztec peoples. Now, what happened? Yeah, we are seeing the speech at the League of Nations. But what led to the speech of the League of Nations, where His Majesty had to speak for the conscience of the world, which only Christ himself, the Savior of the people, does? At the League of Nations, Mexico was one of only 5 member states to condemn the Italian invasion and occupation of Ethiopia, thus enabling Ethiopia to keep its seat in the assembly as a member of the League. Now, after World War II, diplomatic relations between Ethiopia and Mexico were established in 1949. And in 1954, Emperor Haile Selassie became the first ever head of state from an African nation to pay an official visit to Mexico. Oh, our man of the year, man. Oh, now this is the flag of Mexico and the current flag of Ethiopia. But of course, Kani blessings that I and I uphold the Lion of Judah flag. No, here, this relationship. In Ethiopia, there is a Mexico Square. Yes, that is what we as Ethiopians showing loyalty through our Holy Father. You understand? And the Mexico people, we want them to know we are one, and we thank them for their loyalty. So His Majesty and the Ethiopians have a Mexico Square. Addis Ababa was created. But guess what? In Mexico, there is a Plaza of Ethiopia to His Majesty Haile Selassie in Mexico. Yes, appreciates the loyalty of Ethiopia, and they never joined with the others. There we have the president of Mexico and our emperor together. Okay, and there are other Mexicans. There are also Mexicans. All right, so on the road to liberation and victory, 1936, at the League of Nations, Mexico was one of only 5 member states to condemned the occupation of Ethiopia. Because of this, Ethiopia kept its seat in the assembly and remained a member of the League. Now, in 1949, diplomatic relationships between Ethiopia and Mexico were established. 1954, Emperor Haile Selassie became the first ever head of state from an African nation to pay an official visit to Mexico. And June 22nd, 1954, a traffic circle in Mexico City was named Plaza Ethiopia. In 1963, both nations opened embassy in each other's capitals, respectively. August 1980, a metro station in Mexico City was built and named Metro Ethiopia Station, okay? 2007, Mexico reopened its embassy in Addis Ababa that it had to close due to financial issues in 1989. Now, 2010, the Mexican government donated a replica of an Olmec colossal head to Ethiopia. It was placed, right, in Mexico Square, Addis Ababa, Ethiopia. And it was in May of 2010 that the Mexican Minister of Foreign Affairs, Patricia Espinosa, visited Ethiopia, promoting bilateral regional interests and issues related to the 16th UN Conference for Climate Change. That is the COP16. And in July 2010, Ethiopia Prime Minister Meles Zenawi arrived in Cancun to attend the COP16. In 2012, Ethiopia Foreign Minister Haile Mariam Desalegn visited Mexico, and Ethiopian Airlines launched, in 2017, Ethiopian Airlines launched a cargo service between Ethiopia and Mexico. So, 2019, both nations celebrated 70 years of diplomatic relations. Oh, yes. So there is quite a connection. So, rumors of war started in 1922 when fascist dictator Benito Mussolini took control of Italy. 1935 it began after the 1885 partition of Africa. Then 1936, the conquest at the Battle of Adwa in 1896, allowing Ethiopia to become the only African nation to remain free of European control. In 1934 was the initial conflict that sparked the war that took place at Walwal, which is an oasis in the Ogaden Desert. Okay, what happened then? On November 22nd, 34, Ethiopian troops at Walwal, leaving 150 Ethiopians and 2 Italians dead. The League of Nations evaluated the conflict and exonerated both nations, although Italy was the clear aggressor. Great Britain and France, which dominated the League, hoped to prevent Italy from becoming an ally of Nazi Germany. Taking advantage of this situation, Mussolini signed agreements with France and the United Kingdom, and that isolated Ethiopia to face Italy alone with the Ethiopian patriarch, because His Majesty says, until the philosophy which holds one race superior and another inferior is finally and permanently discredited and abandoned, there will be war. So even women, made sure they step up to the plate. The preparation in Italy learned their lesson, from that earlier defeat of the Battle of Adwa, right? And so what they did by 1935, they had sent 12 Italian infantry divisions, approximately 685,000 troops to the Italian colonies that were surrounding Ethiopia. Italy also recruited additional soldiers from those colonies. And beyond that, Italy also had heavy artillery, ground and air vehicles, and extensive supplies. On October 3rd, 1935, General Emilio de Bona marched his troops over the Mareb River into Ethiopia before Italy had even officially issued a declaration of war. Oh, my beloved Langa Mystical Ebony. Yes, beloved South Africa, Zania in the house, Empress of Zion. Love you, my sister queen. No, Emperor Haile Selassie, instead, because Italy had not yet declared war, so His Majesty declared war on Italy. But those invaded Italian forces, they continued into the north. And guess what they were doing? They were preparing for war. So by 1935, by October 6, 1935, Italy had taken both Adigrat and Adowa. And Adwa, of course, was where they had gotten defeated March 1st, 1896. So 1935, October 6, they felt that, them had things going on. All right? Now, but, yes, I, blessings, blessings, blessings. Although they thought that they had it, the Ethiopians, they are so faithful. Even the woman them, you see, because we Africans will fight when necessary. You see it. So, what happened now? On December 4th, Ras Imru advanced from Gojan with his forces and they were bombed for the first time. Initially, Ethiopia won at the Battle of Nyahbinghi Pass, where they defeated 1,000 Eritrean troops under Italian command, though the Italians continued their steady advance across the Ethiopian nation. In 1936, May 5th, Italy took the capital of Addis Ababa. May 5th, 1936, and Emperor Haile Selassie went into exile, first to Palestine and eventually to England. Guess what Mussolini did? Mussolini then named King Victor Emmanuel III of Italy as the Emperor of Ethiopia. The man bright. April 6, 9. Well, you know that World War II began September 1939 and Great Britain declared war on Italy. So by 1941, April 6, British and Ethiopian troops drove the Italians out of Addis Ababa. And on May 5th, Emperor Haile Selassie triumphantly re-entered Ethiopia as the conquering lion of the tribe of Judah of the 12 tribes of Israel. Now, let's look at the politics of politics versus justice of international moral governance. Politics of politics. Here where Mussolini him said, I am willing to buy a palace in a country of your choice, and in addition to give 1,000,000 guineas to you, so that together with your family, you, the Emperor of Ethiopia, I'm talking now, can live in peace for the rest of your life of the interest of the original deposit. You see the man that try bribe our God and King? Here with our Holy Father, international moral governance said, I have left my country not to sell it, but to seek justice for my people and my country. The history of Ethiopia will not be despoiled by a guinea stained with the blood of Ethiopians. The man did bright, think him could have buy out our God and King will come to deal with moral governance. We not in the politics of what? Politics. So, on the battlefield for the Lord of Lords, while the enemies in secret deals behind closed doors, watch the Ethiopian them, and their camels and them no. You think them did afraid? Them stand up. And while the Ethiopians were doing that, Britain and France, both fearing that a general war would be harmful to their collective security, they proposed secret negotiation with Italy, wherein Italy would be offered territory in Ethiopia's northeast. In exchange, Mussolini would end his aggression. Ethiopia would only be told of this negotiation after the fact. Should Selassie reject the terms, France and Britain were off the hook, having made a good faith effort at peace. Politics of politics. They could then oppose further sanctions against Italy, even proposing that the ones in place be removed, thereby sparing themselves a confrontation with Mussolini. But the plans for the secret negotiations were leaked to the press, and both Britain and France were humiliated publicly for selling out a weaker league. The League of Nations, would later become the United Nations, and our Holy God and King would become the first and only head of state to address both leagues. Yes, war is ugly. So how did it all end? 'Cause we're coming down. And I saw and behold a white horse, and he that sat on him had a bow, and a crown was given unto him, and he went forth conquering and to conquer. Yes, the crown given, and of course, November 2nd, 1930, and he went forth conquering and to conquer after Italy come invade, and him sat on him white horse. And you can find those in Revelation, King James Version, and Gideon 1978. So here we are now. Mussolini got arrested in 1943. And mutilated images of the dictator. Now, as the sun rose on the square of the 15 martyrs, residents of Milan had the chance to do certain things, but here what them do. The corpse of the Italian dictator Benito, Mussolini, and his mistress Claretta Petacci were hanged in front of a garage in Milan Piazza in Loretta on April 29, 1945, one day after they were executed by Italian partisans 50 miles to the north in Mezegre, okay? And you see, after them hang them, the people them still a shoot them, you know. One woman decided Mussolini wasn't dead enough for her, and she emptied a pistol into the dictator's dead body and shouted, "5 shots for my 5 assassinated sons." The crowd then strung the bodies of Mussolini, Petacci, and other fascists by their feet from the girders of a gasoline station in the corner of the square. But our holy God and King was triumphant on the white horse, conquering, and to conquer he did. Oh yes. So, you know, there is also, of course, we have to go do what? We have to carry you beyond the Caribbean through the clouds, because Herbert the Black Eagle, this is him, Herbert the Black Eagle, he's a Trinidadian American who contributed to the startup of the training of the Ethiopian Air Forces, and he served in the Ethiopian Imperial Army. Yes, he did in World War II. Note, His Imperial Majesty April 66 trip to the Caribbean. Yes, Emperor Haile Selassie, which means in Amharic, might and power of the Holy Trinity. The first place he stopped as the Trinity Daddy was in Trinidad, okay? Before flying through the clouds in the sky in fulfillment of prophecy that Christ would come through the clouds in the sky, and all of the Christian church are wait for that. April 21, 1966. Yes, in the island that Jamaica. Yes, prophecy fulfilled. Christ came through the clouds in the sky, and the people them 144,000 were there. So know that even during the Italian war with Mussolini, you know, see, His Majesty could have stand up with him feet and bombs, because no weapon that is formed against I and I shall prosper. Isaiah 54:17. You know, see it. And our God and King, him godly, with him gun and him Bible, because by the ballot, by the bullet, by the Bible, by the gun, any which way of freedom must come, because Haile Selassie say, we Africans will fight when necessary, and we know that we shall win, as we are confident in the victory of good over evil. Yes, coming down now. Yes. So, this is it, Cinco de Mayo, Battle of Pueblo in 1862. On the 5th of May, Mexican forces earned a victory over the French occupation under the leadership of the Mexican general. And that Mexican general, Ignacio Zaragoza. Okay? And while we are doing that, let us remember, right, that the African connection in Mexico is very, very strong. Okay? Yes, let me tell you about that. This is His Majesty, you know, this is a museum that he was visiting in Mexico in 1954. Now, know about the African presence in Mexico. All right? Because San Lorenzo, yes, San Lorenzo de los Negros was officially recognized by Spanish authorities as a free black settlement in Mexico. It would later be referred to as Yanga or Nyanga, which was named after its founder, Gaspar Yanga. That's him. Gaspar Yanga led a successful slave revolt in Mexico around 1570. After his escape somewhere around 1545, 1570, right, from these places in the Americas. He is hailed as the first liberator in the Americas and is enshrined in Veracruz, Mexico. Then you must know about William Ellis. William Ellis is the Mexican slave who became, I'm sorry, William Ellis is the slave in Texas, a Texas slave who became a Mexican millionaire. Who's William Ellis? He was born in Texas, right? In 1864. As a slave, worked as a cowboy in Texas and Mexico before entering the university in Tennessee. He founded a colony that was more like a Commonwealth community near Mapimi, which is also known as Tlajulilo, in the Durango, Mexican state in 1894 to 1895. And he entered the business world around 1886 as a wool and leather dealer in San Antonio, Texas. In 1897, he became an agent exchange on Wall Street in New York. So you see, there is lots to be celebrated with the Mexican-Ethiopian connection. As Cinco de Mayo is celebrated, yes, we are also celebrating Happy Ethiopian Patriots Day. Yes, because May 5th is the victory for Ethiopia and Mexico. Ethiopian Liberation Day and Cinco de Mayo, yes, for our Mexican brothers and sisters. Thank you, my beloved family, for tuning in. Yeah, it's water. Yeah. Blessings. May the words of I and I mouth, the meditation of I and I heart, and the works of I and I hands be ever acceptable in thy sight. O Jah, I and I strength and I and I Redeemer, who liveth and reigneth in the hearts of I and I, with her holy mother, Empress Menin, Asfa, and our holy Father. We are so blessed. Happy Mother's Day to all the mothers out there and all the fathers who are mothering children. Blessed love, highly blessed. Give thanks.